Guys, thank you so much. I apologize that we are 4 minutes past our starting time. I want to respect your time because I know y'all are busy folks. I am Toshma Graves. As of March, it's made my 13th full-time year in general real estate, residential real estate. And this is, July will be my 3rd year here at Keller Williams. So I am a newbie to Keller, as are some of you guys. The reason I'm up here is, because I think you like to not kind of know who they stick in front of you and why. I chose the door knocking aspect of lead generation because that is something that speaks to my personality. I am by no means an expert, it's just something that I actually do. So of course, you know, and we're going to talk about, really back to the basics, why we need to do these things. So I chose lead generation, first of all, because it's something, or door knocking because it's something that I actually do. I am in production, so I guess they wanted me to talk to you since I am actually doing some business. So I see that it is impactful and that it helps. I will tell you, I don't have the statistics down yet because this is one of the newer pieces that I have been actively doing in my business model. My main source of lead generation is in my database, so I do a lot of database sourcing. For any of you that are we're friends on social media, you may have seen my post about my client appreciation. So I did a Men's Day client appreciation. Those are types of things that I do to build future referrals. And open houses and door knocking are other ways that I lead generate. So we use that word because I'm sure as you guys have been going through Ignite and kind of learning the Keller Williams way, what is it that we're supposed to do? So let's start with what our actual job description is. Do we know what our job description is as a real estate professional? What are we here to do? Okay. What else? There's five
connect
tasks.
Buyers and sellers. Is that one?
Okay. I'm gonna write these over here. So we're gonna connect buyers and sellers. Okay. What else? You said someone said lead generate. Okay, what else? Why do we get up every day and come into the office? If you were at ABC Corporation and you had a job title, that job title came with a job description. So what is it that we're supposed to do every day in order to make this business work for us?
Sell houses.
Sell houses, yes. Okay, what else?
I think you need to just.
Okay, come, Bob. I'm sure you can help me. What are we supposed to do every day?
What are we supposed to do every day besides lead generation?
Yes. There are 5 elements of our job that allows us to justify our commission, and everything else we can let other people do.
Negotiate.
Okay, so I'm going to write them over here, and not necessarily in any priority of order. Quite frankly, they are all important. But this is the difference between what our value proposition is and what some of our administrative task value proposition is. So we are to lead generate. But there's no value in lead generation if we don't lead follow up. Is that an accurate statement? Okay. So once we lead follow up, that is going to result in an appointment. And then we go on enough appointments, that's going to result in us going under contract. So connecting the buyers and sellers, as Bjorn said. And then that's going to take us into contract negotiation. And all of these things will take a hit if we don't script and role play. So if we're not doing, if our work week, and you are all independent businesses, so whatever your work week looks like, that's what it is. But if you're a Monday through Friday type of person, Monday through Friday, these are the 5 essential parts of our profession that we are doing. We must do this every day. So other than number 1, they're not necessarily in any order of importance because they're all important. And then everything else, and whoever was here yesterday when Brad was talking about in the sales meeting, that we have like 120 tasks that we have to do. That's like not an exaggeration. I think it's probably on the low side. There's 120 things literally that we do as real estate professionals. But these are the ones that justify our compensation. Everything else we can vendor out and partner out when we get this mastered. Questions on that? Comments on that?
I wanted to comment that I'm so glad Tosh was starting with this because you have to make a value judgment about how you spend your time all the time. So to put this on a card and have it over your desk or something, so when you're playing with your website or just searching, it's so tempting. There are lots of things we can spend time on in the business, but we have to hit these, so priority. And you can check your bank account, if you're rolling in dough, then honey,
go for it. And I promise you that's exactly what I was about to say when I indicated. This should be on a placard, make a blow up poster, wherever you do your lead generation, wherever your office is set up, put it on your phone. This is what we're supposed to be doing every day. And the reality is none of us do them all like we're supposed to every day. But if we were doing all 5 of these every day, then the sky is absolutely the limit. So today we're talking about lead generation. So that's why we're even doing these boot camps, is how do we generate business? There's different forms of lead generation. So give me some ideas of what we do to lead generate. What do you think? What are some things you guys are doing to create business for yourself?
making phone calls.
Okay, perfect.
Open houses.
Okay. What else?
Network.
Okay. What else?
Door knock.
Okay. Anything else? What else are you guys doing?
I remember somebody was saying like feed your sphere or something.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Writing notes.
Sorry. Bob, you're seasoned in the business as well. What else? Do you do anything additional?
Oh yeah, 33 touch, which includes emails, one-on-one meetings with your sphere.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything differently than what's on here? Stacy?
Well, pop buys and
There you go.
client appreciation parties.
In the grocery store, I may give out a card.
Okay, so
Counters.
what would we call that? Just like, I would say kind of cold calling, but cold prospecting. You know what? We're gonna call that.
Yeah.
I love this term. I don't know why, because I'm a Southern girl and we say belly.
Some internet marketing, whether it be
Awesome.
social media or SEO or Google use.
Perfect. Okay. So what does this show us? And again, I've been in this business a little while, and it wasn't until probably about a year and a half ago, being in some various kind of focus groups and brainstorms and masterminds, that I got stuck on the fact that, because we talk a lot at KWAP about lead generation and about making phone calls, and that just frankly doesn't speak to my personality. It's not, and I don't know that there's not a lot of people that say, yeah, I want to get on the phone and get told no 15 times, and but some people love it. So I was stuck because I was like, I don't want to pick up the phone. So then, as I started to attend a number of, like I said, masterminds and focus groups and discussions about how do we generate business, we started brainstorming lists that there are many ways to lead generate. What we want to do is uncover an opportunity. So how best can you uncover an opportunity in your sphere, in your daily walk? It could be any number of these ways. So peers of ours throughout this month have chosen different ways to show how they successfully create and find opportunities. So that's why we're here today. The opportunity, or the method that I use to create opportunities, is door knocking. It's one of the ways I do. Like Bob, I use a 33 touch. I work a little more on relational transactions than volume. It just speaks to my personality. So
She's Southern.
I am. I can lay the best mayonnaise there is, I'm telling you. So with that being said, has anyone practiced or experienced or done door knocking? What do you think that is?
I don't know. Rocio.
Huh?
Rocio.
Rocio.
Let me
I can
stop
say it.
rolling my R.
Rocio.
Yeah.
Aha.
Good.
I got it. Rocio, tell us about your experience door knocking. How
okay,
often do you do it, or what do you do?
At least once a month,
Okay.
and it depends on the neighborhood that it gives me good or not at all results.
Okay.
So there are areas that are easy to door knock, and people are more willing to open the door, talk to you, and all that. And there are areas that they really get forgot. So.
Okay. Okay. So, why do we door knock? Like, is there a particular?
When we're going to host an open house, or when we have a new listing coming soon. And also when there is a very good listing after we sell it, I go or knock to tell people that we just sold
Okay.
that one.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other reasons or impetus for?
Looking for unlisted property for buyers.
Perfect. Okay. Any other reason that we would door knock?
Expired, maybe? Like, your house was up for sale, what happened?
Okay. I'm gonna put that
Oh,
over
over
here.
here, okay.
Mm-hmm.
To farm?
Just before I write that down, why do we farm? What does that mean?
To become the go-to agent.
multiple reasons why we would go get out of our car, go up to a stranger's door and let them know about an opportunity. These ways, and I'm sure there's others. The ones that I use most often are the just listed, just sold. Actually, I use all of those. I haven't quite integrated farming yet. But I use door knocking for the just listed, just sold, and that's one of the examples that we're gonna talk about today, and you'll see what I do to prepare. I use them a lot for open house announcements to let the community know that of course there's a new listing, and that we do either a neighbor preview even before the open house, even if it's just an hour before the open house, just to let them know that something's coming up in their neighborhood, because you'd be surprised that the house literally could be next door, and people sometimes don't know there's a house for sale. And then I use it very much with off-market opportunities, and that's the second example that I have, is because as a person that works heavily with buyers, and we all know, those of us that are working with buyers, how tough the market is in different areas of Metro Atlanta, we just can't find houses for our clients. So we have to create opportunities. And that's what I've done, and kind of successfully. The times that I've done them with that intention have rendered results. It's definitely rendered results. So I've actually found homes, and I've matched buyers with people that didn't know they were going to be a seller. So it works. It's a lot. It's more feet on the ground. So for people that are not interested in being so quote unquote labor intensive, it may not speak to you, but it gives you encouragement that there's other ways to generate business. So you just have to find out what works for you. Is that fair? Okay.
And it's not expensive.
Correct. Correct. It's time on your shoes, and it's time out of your day, but that's part of your job, because we have 5 things to do during the day. That's it. Those are the only things we have to do. Everything else we can partner out. Fair enough? Okay. So, how do Rosario? How do
Rocio.
I was so interested in getting the R right. Rocio. I love it. Beautiful. How do you prepare for door knocking?
I search in Georgia MLS, all the neighborhood, the properties, the price range. I create a CMA and a flyer and a door hanger. So if people open, I try to start talking to them, and it starts with my name. Oh, how do you roll your R? So
I'm not the only one that likes that. Huh?
yeah, so I start conversation, and then I tell, okay, I have a CMA. Would you like to know the price of your home, and so on. And if there is no one or no one is opening the door, then I just leave a door hanger.
Okay. So anyone do anything additional?
Also, I have magazines and a book.
You have
A book.
a book?
I bought the rights to print a book.
What kind of book?
For sellers.
Okay.
So if the person gives me a kind of a hint that they are thinking about selling, then okay, would you like to learn how to sell a home? And I give them the book.
Is that the one you can order from KW?
No.
So
Can we order from KW?
well, I know that there's a first-time home buyer book that you can order. So
No,
where
this
is
is for
one?
sellers.
Right. But
Yeah.
where do you get it?
Through the name of this company is Curry, something Curry.
Okay.
Yeah, I can bring a copy of it if you want.
Okay. So let's look at and these are not quite as sophisticated with the book. But I definitely have something to, what I would call a takeaway, something to leave. The CMA is helpful for you to have with you, so of course you actually do know what's going on in the neighborhood. One of the things that Rocio.
Rocio.
I want to say Rosario. I don't know why. I'm just trying to make it happen. Rocio. One of the things that Rocio said is that we strategically door knock. So when I first started, I was just going to the community that I was interested in, either because of the price point or because I knew a client wanted to live in the neighborhood. And I just literally started at the front of the neighborhood and started knocking on doors. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you have that kind of time. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're in a farming situation as well and you're using it to become the resident expert. There's nothing wrong with knocking on every door if that's what you choose to do. There are other ways to make it work for you as well. So the first example I have is of a home that I recently listed, and because of my incredible vendor partners have gorgeous, now MLS has gorgeous pictures of this house. This is actually a home that I recently listed and sold in east side of Atlanta in Lithonia. So this house was listed at $125. We had 17 offers, so 16 people did not have a home that wanted to be in this neighborhood. So imagine the opportunity that I now have. There were 16 people. And I can pass these around. I'm real simple, because I look at my bank account, Stacy, and I'm like, I want to work from free 99. So anything I can do from free 99 up works for me. So I'm real simple. I will take, and this is obviously not 16, I just brought these for illustration, but I will take the front, and you can pass it around if you like to. I take the front of the offer, and I staple my card to it. And I go door to door. Strategically now is what I'm going to, actually I'm supposed to do that today. I may have to push to tomorrow. I'll go door to door. And my script is real simple.
Gail.
Gail, okay. So I'm gonna walk up to Gail's door and hopefully Gail's gonna answer. And I put on my big old southern smile. My daddy paid a lot of money for this smile, so I use it all the time. And I say, "Hi, Ms. Gail, I'm Tosh McGrave with Keller Williams Realty. I'm not here to sell you anything." So I try to get around the soliciting part. I'm not here to sell you anything, I'm actually looking to buy something. One of our neighbors sold their house here recently for $126, and we had 17 offers on this house. I'm looking for someone that is looking to make a move. Who do you know? And then I give them a chance to say something. I have several examples of the offers. As you can see, we had at least 7 offers that were well above the asking price. So people want a home just like yours, Ms. Gail. That's it. And then I wait for their answers. If they say no, not at this time, well, Ms. Gail, she'll give me her last name. I don't call her Ms. Gail, but so tell me your last name actually. Pullen, okay. Well, Ms. Pullen, I appreciate you thinking about that. Let me ask you, if you have considered making a move, because I start with the who do you know so that she doesn't automatically say no to me. And she probably hadn't even thought about selling her home. So I'll ask her, have you considered making a move? Notice I didn't say to her, sell your home. I just said, have you considered making a move? And what would you say? If I asked you right now, are you looking to make a move? No. Okay. So I can tell you really love the neighborhood. Give me some examples of why you love it so much.
The homeowners association is strong, like my neighbors,
Good.
like the cost of living.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, let me ask you, if you could live anywhere in the world, where else would it be?
Okay.
Nice. Okay. What would take you to Brookhaven?
Returning to my childhood.
Oh, so you grew up in Brookhaven?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, how's it changed since you've been there?
Oh. It's grown exponentially.
Nice. So let me ask you, Ms. Pullen, if you had an opportunity to actually make that move with the opportunity that you have in your home to sell right now, would that be of interest to you?
Possibly.
Fantastic. How about an opportunity for us to talk about that?
Okay.
Does that work for you? Okay. Well, I'd love an opportunity to come back and we discuss this one-on-one, and perhaps we can see a way through this kind of profit, because I've already pulled her comps to show that we might be able to make that childhood come back alive again real soon. How would you feel about that? Fantastic. So
She
then
good.
and I said
She
the
good,
plan-
y'all.
Yeah.
So if I get her talking, then it doesn't matter how long it takes, because I'm getting an appointment. Because what? That's one of my 5 job descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lead generating to get an appointment. So if I stand there and talk to her 30 minutes, I've gotten an appointment. I might go home. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding. But yeah, so the point is you're doing this to get an appointment. So you're either looking to create a new contact to grow your database, or more importantly, you're looking to create a contact to actually do business with now that they didn't know they were wanting to do business. Does that make sense? Okay. So
The company is smartagents.com.
smart
For the
agent.
book.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. Cause I just dropped my pen. I
Yep,
didn't know where I
yep.
put my pen. Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit and show you what we did to prepare for that. So I'm actually gonna knock on Ms. Pullen's door specifically because I've looked at her equity. So you do a little bit of research, or potential equity. You do a little bit of research will help you be a little more strategic in whose door you knock on. So I'm gonna take you to my client's information. I mean, it's public knowledge, so it's not something that's a surprise. So in 2009, we purchased this home for $74,000, and like I said, we put it on the market for $125,000. Okay, so yeah, he loves me. So I'm gonna go and look for other people that bought around that time that may or may not have something even similar. And I'll look up to probably 2 years. Because what's our average time that we move around Metro Atlanta?
7 years.
5 to 7 years. I'll go as much as 2 because life happens. We all know that. Yes.
Hold on, so when you pull up his property, his taxes, you can see other people's at the same time?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna show you. So, well, let me make sure I understood your question. When you say other people's.
In the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You
Yes.
don't have to like individually go and look up the address. It could just.
We need you to.
I'm gonna go
Get us
to
on.
it and maybe I'll answer your question. I'm not sure. Let's see. So I just wanted to show you, what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for someone that would be really happy to see me and they don't know that they're really happy to see me yet. I've made these calls, by the way, and this is part of that lead generating in your database. So when you have your sales that are over 2, 3, 5 years old, and you're looking for people to call in such a market as this, we go back through our database and say, hey, we sold somebody a few years ago. Let's look at what their equity position may be. And I made a call to one of my clients like that, and she's sitting on $50,000. She just bought 2 years ago, actually. So up here first of all, I'm sorry, I made an assumption. Do all of you know where I am in Georgia MLS?
I don't think so.
Okay. So first of all, I'm in Georgia MLS. And you go to tools. And I'm going to be perfectly candid with you, and maybe my peers can help me with this. I don't actually know how to do this in FMLS because I don't use it as much. So if someone knows how to do it for FMLS.
What's
please
Georgia
try me.
MLS?
And to me, it's just a little more user friendly for me. So in tools in Georgia MLS, you go to the CRS, that's Courthouse Retrieval System, CRS tax suite. And that's where I am. Okay.
I think FMLS it's realist.
Yeah, it's realistic.
Okay. Okay. So I would put in the county. You can put in as much of the specifics as you know. I happen to have pulled this person up already, so your recent searches, of course, will show up here. So this is the address. And again, Georgia MLS has recently started putting the pictures once there are pictures from your listing, they'll start populating what the house looks like too. It actually helps your appraisers as well because now they can see the condition of the home if you're taking good pictures. So we've already looked at that summary. Then we go to prospecting. Okay. And I'm prospecting, again, just to make it easy for me, I'm prospecting in Riverbend, Overlook, so that's the community. And then I am going to look at homes that have sold from 2008, so I'm pick a date, to, I would go as much as 2 years ago, or maybe 3. Because life may have happened, and they may just be ready to get out and don't think they can. So at least let's look at it. And I would like to look at anything. It doesn't matter what the least they paid for it. And I'm gonna go up to about that 90,000, okay? Because if I know that comps exist for 126, and I know that if I do an average of 6% on a 126 and add in a little bit of cushion, I can clear out about 10 grand. Would the person, or could the person still be happy to see me to make $30,000-$40,000? I don't know. But do you think that's at least a conversation? Mm-hmm. If they moved in 2014 and did, 3.5% down, you think they'd be pretty happy to walk away with $40,000? Maybe. $30,000 maybe. Okay? So I would look at all the numbers and just do high level numbers. Add in the cost of doing business with you, i.e. our compensation. Add in a little bit of cushion for your closing costs or your concessions, because that could be anything. And just just do a comfortable number and see if the number makes sense. And if it does for what you're looking for, then that's the criteria to use. And of course I'm gonna take I don't want to step on any toes, so I'm going to take all that out. And I have 97 people. So I can go to any number of these people, and yes, to answer your question, if I go into, let's say, Miss Esther, I can see her information as well. So sure enough, in 2014, she bought a house in that same neighborhood for $78,000. Now, I don't see a mortgage for her, so she may have paid cash, or she could be an investor, or she could have just, decided to pay cash for the house. So again, she might be interested. She paid the same amount that my client paid, and if I can show her that, staying in this house 4 years, you can turn, $30,000, she might be interested. So she may be someone that I would speak to. The homes in this neighborhood are all very, very similar. This is a first-time home buyer community. There are some rentals in there, but there's some rentals in there. Investors are in there. Those would be the next people I look for. Because notice that they have, and I'm going to come to your question.
I think that's kind of started where you're headed to.
Okay.
Hey, Joycelyn, will you do that one we talked about? Just to get a little more contrast. Does that help? See up there a little bit?
So I've left in all, but I might even look at these people too. You could break it down. Absentee owner, out of state. Those may be some very interested people. Especially if I could call them. Obviously, they may not be home for me to door knock them, but I could certainly call them.
How do you get their phone number?
It's gonna take work.
Yeah.
You know, Googling and such. It does have, you know, CRS does have that white pages. I have found people's numbers from the white pages in that link in this platform. But yeah, so it's gonna take some homework, a little bit of prep work, but it's worth it. Again, if I got one Miss Pullen out of my 2 hours on my feet, and I can help someone get back to their dream of early childhood memories, and I can help one of these 16 buyers become a homeowner, who's losing? Nobody's losing.
Okay, Tashma,
Yes.
you had a great setup in that you had a listing and you had 16
Mhm.
Unhappy, disappointed buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Most everybody in this room knew, don't have that. So, if you were them,
Mm-hmm.
how would you pick a place?
Okay. So the
Pick a neighborhood, and would you go to one where there's a listing? Well, how would you pick it?
okay. Well, on the flip side, or the other portion of what I do, as I mentioned, I work a lot with buyers. So I'm definitely in a similar position as a lot of you guys that may not have listings, but you may know some people. We all know somebody that either wants to move or should be moving. So we can go find a buyer, but we may not have a house for them. So that's the reason number one that I use door knocking, is to find homes for buyers. So as I go through my buyer consultation, if I have an idea of what they want, or just in that organic conversation and we're talking and I found that you want to buy a house, we'll have some knowledge of payments if you're speaking with your lending professional to know, hey, $1,200 can buy you X amount of house, $900 can buy you X amount, $2,500 can buy you X amount of house. So when you're having that organic conversation with a prospect and you know that's a tough market, then you go out and door knock a neighborhood that you think would be suitable for your potential client, okay? I use a lot of open houses. Since I don't have listings of my own, I open house other people's listings, and that's how I create that opportunity. So I'll go into a neighborhood of whom I'm doing an open house for, and I'll door knock with the open house flyer. So because this is already pre-printed with my information, I don't do the business card, and I just take the flyer and door knock and let people know that their neighbor is currently listed or just listed. And I would pretty much use a similar script though, without the equity. I may or may
Okay, we
not
want
do the equity.
details. What day of the week? What time of day? I know, but that's what they want to know.
It doesn't. Let me tell you, I went to a
I mean, I find more people at home on Saturday mornings, but because they're all, in the yard and whatnot. But you
it's
can't
one-
do it all on Saturday morning.
You can't, and it's worth trying at any point in time. I was in a mastermind of people that were making very comfortable, very, very comfortable livings in real estate, and one person was used open houses as their marketing or their lead generation. And she made a statement that I forgot coming up in new construction. Like when I started in real estate, I started with new construction buyers. I wasn't on site. We used to have people used to actually come in to look at houses. They didn't look on the internet. And I'm not that old, by the way, but it feels like I'm ancient saying that. So I used to work with buyers that only wanted new construction. They would come in and we would talk about buying new homes. So when the lady that was doing the class talked about open houses and she was having this discussion with her seller, she brought back those memories about new construction. All of us have seen new construction, right? Has everybody gone into a new home community? When can you go?
Every day.
Anytime.
From 11 to 6.
Do people buy houses every day?
Mm-hmm.
Do they buy houses at 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yes.
Do they buy houses on a Sunday at 10 o'clock?
Yes.
Do they buy houses? Do you write contracts at 8 o'clock at night? So the answer is there's no magic pill. People are buying houses every day. And when in part of her script she was saying, hey, we hold them open just like new construction. That sign is out every day. Right? So there's no answer. Yes, I mean, the weekends are probably a great time. It depends on, you might want to do a little research on the community. If it's a community where the average person may have a 9 to 5, then you may want to schedule your hours before or after. If it's more of a community where maybe people are retired and may have, I door knocked the listing I have in the 55 and over community. Everybody was home at 10 o'clock. And they met me at the door. That was the most amazing
Wanted to talk.
experience I've had. Yes. It's the most amazing experience door knocking I had ever had. When I tell you it was 60 condos in there, 54, I'm not exaggerating, 54 people opened their door. Because they were home, they had time, they wanted to talk, and they knew somebody, or this one, God forbid, it wasn't a good situation, but they were telling me about people that were sick, that might need to make a move, but it was, I got opportunities. People, but they were just happy that somebody came and knocked on their door. So I say that to say, that was 10 o'clock on I want to say that was 10 o'clock on a Friday that I door knocked for an open house on Sunday. So you gotta try. This is your business. You gotta see what works for you. Any other questions?
Question. So, like, say if you were going in a community because you had a buyer that wanted to buy in a community, what would you take, or what was your script to the people in that community as far as trying to see if they want to sell, or no anybody wants to sell?
That I'm telling you, that's all I use. I've done that. I have.
So even if you don't have, like, so say if you didn't sell in the community though, you wouldn't have a offer to show them, or would you just show them like the ones that have sold? Like
sure you would. This is now my client's offers.
Oh, okay, got it.
It happens every day. Can't find a house for my client. So this is Miss Pullen. I am not looking to sell you anything. I'm actually looking to buy something. My client, Miss Stacy, has put in 5 offers on houses in this community. One of which was $10,000 over what the asking price is. I have someone right now that is looking for a home just like yours. I need your help. Who do you know that's looking to sell in this community? Oh, that's it. I take it, and on this first page, of course, the person's name is not there, so you can leave this. It's got initials, but they can't figure out who it is. So the initials actually make it look a little legitimate without sharing any of your client's information. I'm real simple. I don't have any, like I said, I'm not the expert on this, but this is what I do, and I've gotten some results. I actually have matched people with off-market properties.
Okay, I do have a situation where I have a client and he put an offer in on a property that was listed by another agent, and he didn't get it. So I want to door knock, and that, what would I use?
I would take just the first page of the
purchase and
contract,
sale.
because it shows
That didn't
multiple
work.
terms.
Because it'll show the address, which is in the neighborhood,
Oh, okay.
the amount that was offered. See
The
that
closing
that's
costs,
proof.
it has everything.
Okay, I
And
gotcha.
like I said, because most of us use dot loop, so it has that kind of stamp of an initial. So it kind of looks legitimate, like you didn't just go print this out. But you could. But I have a hard time lying. Yes, we Southern people do like to embellish the truth, but I have a hard time just lying. So I've got to believe what I'm saying. That's why I use this. I do. I use something that I know I can feel good about. I'm not, faking. But it works because then people don't know. Then they don't know, well, dang, I didn't know stuff was selling like that in here. Absolutely. Love an opportunity to come back and sit with you one-on-one, and let's see how we can make this a win-win. If you had to move, where would you like to go? And you keep that conversation going. questions?
No, we're great.
I'm done talking.
So did you just say if you find a house that's sold in the neighborhood, fill out that form, put your card on it, and say this house has sold?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so I'm just trying to be clear.
I did not say, what I do, cause this is the truth though, cause I work with a lot of buyers. So if they made one offer and they said they love this neighborhood and they didn't get it, I'm taking that contract.
Okay, okay.
A
so now-
real
buyer didn't
failed
get-
A
offer.
real
Got it.
failed offer.
So if you don't have any failed offers,
Then you have 300, what are we up to now, Stacy? In agent count, 300?
Oh, I don't know, 330.
You have 330 partners in here that somebody's doing some business. Go get theirs. It's not a lot. All you need is front page.
So you could approach an agent, like in team meeting when we hear people say, oh, we had 11 offers from this property. And
Exactly.
say, hey, I'd like to do some door knocking in that neighborhood. Can I have one of your failed offers?
okay.
Cause there's no proprietary.
Exactly.
I
And you're
mean,
not
it's-
lying.
It's no privacy issue.
You just heard me say I had 16 people that didn't get a house in a community that I had a listing. So you can take this same information and go, one of my peers in the office had 16 people that didn't get a house. That's not a lie. Everything's right here. Does that make sense?
So it takes a little initiative, it takes a little research, you listen up. You can't be shy about approaching an agent that's got business going, and don't come to me, who can you match me up with, it takes some initiative.
Even
but
the MLSs. I
see
mean,
how
you know your market though. You know the market that you want to work. If you're looking for listings, and you want to work in a market that you know they're moving fast, then go look in that area. You can even look on the MLS and it says multiple offers, taking best and highest. That's the agent you call. Because again, then it's not a lie. Yes, that agent got multiple offers on that house. Does that make sense? Like if you're starting from scratch and you have nothing else, to go from, do that.
So
And that's just me. I use that because it makes me feel like I'm not lying because I don't like to lie like that. Yes, ma'am. You had a question. Hold on for me 1 second, Giselle. Yes, ma'am.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is you take the failed offer.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, do you go to the MLS and pull the houses that best fit that situation so that you're not prospecting the whole community?
Well, that's what we did here. Now, it depends on why you're doing.
Mhm.
Like, if you're truly looking for your client,
Mm-hmm.
then I would do as much research as
So
I
you
can to
go
find
to the
something,
most
a floor plan
homes
that
with the
might be
most
similar.
equity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For me, like I'm doing this, I'm just looking for sellers, period, in
Mhm.
this community because they're
Mhm.
all going to be, I have the highest comp in there now. So they're all going to be around this price. So I don't care what it looks. I actually don't even care what it looks like.
Correct. Okay.
So I just want to make sure there's enough equity to even start that the conversation might be interesting.
Because I did something similar, just
Mhm.
kind of trying to do something on my own, and I noticed when I went through that community, I assume it was like a lot of renters
Mhm.
because the mailing address was different for the owner. So how do you overcome that situation that I'm not going to? Because most time at that price point, it could very well be a lot of renters at this point.
I'm not afraid of renters. Those are buyers. Now you may or may not want those, depending on the price. I don't know. That's your.
But
No,
can you
no,
show real
I'm
quick how
trying
you
to figure
how
out
you
It's
selected?
because I want to get to the owner because I want to sell that particular property.
She may have come in after you had stepped through this. Remember when you were doing the selection?
There's one that you can take off out of town right here. Is that what you're asking?
Owner
See, you
occupied
could-
absentee.
So you'll click owner occupied.
Correct.
Okay.
And just pull the owner occupied.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
But you also said if it's an absentee owner or out of state, then you still try to figure out who that is because it could be an investor.
I could call.
That's what I was gonna say. Would you send them a letter or trying to call
I'm
them?
not a big letter, but me personally, but
Okay.
yes, you can.
Okay.
That would be a call I would make.
Okay.
That would not be call reluctance for me to call somebody that I know sitting on
Okay.
$30,000-$40,000 worth of after my fees. I put that cushion in so that it's not a conversation.
Yeah.
Like
'cause I'm
I
literally in this situation right now, so I'm kind of really That's kind of what I was trying to figure out literally this week of how to approach after selling one of the highest price homes, how to, you know, get other homes in that particular community.
Me personally though, I would not necessarily weed out the renters because again, sometimes they do know. They have information right then. And they're not all, you know, nasty and like not wanting to leave and all that. I mean, they talk to you because they don't care. It's like it's not their house. So they're like, well, yeah, I rent from so and so and so.
Okay, see if we can get the
At least you get a name, you know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I wouldn't necessarily take them out of knocking on their door. And it could be an opportunity. Any other
Okay,
questions?
Giselle, did you?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it because Stacy always bugs me. She's like, you should share this. And I never want to talk.
Oh yes, my favorite story. I pick on Tashma and Giselle because y'all have stories I love.
Right, and because Tashma did like a little session for team meeting a couple weeks back, and it was on, well, she talked about new construction, and she mentioned some things also about door knocking, and at that time I was also, so I had a buyer, a really difficult buyer. I love them to death, but they're difficult. And they love this subdivision in Sandy Springs, 3-story townhome. And we bid last year and things came up, so we never ended up buying. And then this year she was like, oh, I'm ready. I saw this one, so we missed out on that one. So by the time we came, they had already went on the contract. So I was gonna door knock, but then when she gave me all that insight, it made so much sense because I did two things when I door knocked that week. I did what she did. I printed out the offer, but I had an offer because we actually just bid on one house that we didn't get. So I printed out that offer, removed their names, and put a card. What I also did was I went and did this. So instead of door knocking everybody, I did door knock the people that had equity. Like, and this is a townhome. A lot of people that bought like 4 or 5 years ago have over $100,000 in equity. So this is like valuable. Like this really made a difference. Because. And it wasn't a big community to begin with, so I probably would have just door knocked everybody, but just doing that, I went and door knocked exactly when you had equity. So
you're not wasting time with
right.
people that they're in no position to sell.
So I printed out the tax records, so I had like my stack of contracts and I had my stack of property records. So, and I used her script, I'm not here to sell, I'm actually here to buy. So I spoke on behalf of my client of I actually have a buyer. We just literally missed out on this bid and I pointed, I'm like, this is the house we bid on and we lost. And I'm like, you know, they're very serious, talk about it. My client's a pharmacist, so that's when you get to interact. So I was talking about that, and on the other side, when I was done with that, I was also like, you know, do you know how much equity you have in this house? And some people didn't know. And I was like, you have over $80,000 in equity. And they're like, you know, we knew, you know, we just didn't have any. I guess like, this is it. Like, I can tell you to the dollar, you know. So I did two things. So the third door, I door knocked. So there's like this little, you know, the little nest thingy with you can ring. And so this young man answers. He's like, hey, how you doing? It's like, hey. I just, you know, I started doing my little script. He's like, well, I'm actually in the shower, but you know, I want to talk to you. I'm like, okay, well, I'm still door knocking. Just, you know, just come meet me. It's a really little subdivision. Just come meet me when you're done. So as you know, I keep on going and I door knock. A lot of homes were actually not a lot of people were there. So back to what Stacy said, I would personally door knock on a Saturday, just because I don't want to go to work on Sunday really. But on Saturday, I would door knock. So as I'm walking, talking to this other person, so this young man that comes out, red-haired guy, he's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm the president of the HOA. I'm like, man, if you can't solicitate in this subdivision, I'm in trouble. But just very, very nice. He gave me all the gossip.
He laid it out for her.
He gave me all the gossip. The out of town, the people that weren't happy, and that because she's like, this lady always says it. When she's like, she's not happy, you know, she wants to move. Like he laid it to me. This one has a tenant. This one, their kids are in there. You know, they just got their new job, their first job. They're about to buy a house on their own. I was walking with him as he's just pointing out information.
I love it.
I was like, and he gave me information and gossip. I got everything that day. And long story short, we ended up. He said, hey, you know what? I do know, you know, this person. He showed me the townhome because I also wanted to see because the floor plan, the way they are, you know, with privacy issues, when I had to see that townhome would fit my clients, and we walked to it, so he showed me, and it would work, you know, I figured it would work for my clients. So he said, you know what, what he didn't do was he didn't give me their information. What he did is, I'm going to reach out to that homeowner that I know, and I'm gonna tell him that, you know, you have somebody that's interested. The night of, I got an email from the agent that was about to list that property. They were about to come on the market like in 3 weeks. So they're gonna start getting the property ready for market. So as it turns out, my clients didn't end up buying that house, but we did go on the contract. The payment was too high for them. Just FYI, when we bid it last year, fast forwarding into this year for the same townhome with it, you know, probably like $6,000-7,000 more in sales price, their payment had went up $500. With the taxes that increased the sales price, and you know, the seller paying a little less to closing costs than what. So they, you know, my clients weren't ready for that, and so we end up not moving forward. But I door knocked because I was also talking towards the equity. I got a listing. That's coming on the market actually in a month. So that was, I probably door knocked like an hour and a half because he just toured me, and I'm not really talkative. Like, I mean, we talk well in business, but I'm not. I like the fact that you have so many reasons to go door knock, and you're coming in as a value add, and people just welcome you. They were really happy. They were like, "Oh my God, yeah, we do really," and literally, it worked.
Yay! All right. So, how do you guys feel about actually putting this into application? How does this fall in your
Awesome.
spectrum of
Thank you.
creating opportunities? Is it something you would do? I know you
Yes.
do already.
What I would
No, but I learned a lot.
what I would love
Equity and
to get everybody to do, if you're interested, is to pick a place you want to go door knock, and go into Georgia MLS or FMLS and figure out. So pick a neighborhood and do the research to figure out, so that you're not knocking every single door in the neighborhood. And I don't know, a week from now, come back to me and show me that you've done it, because I don't want us to just have a class and then you move on to the next thing. I mean, if this seemed like I could do this, okay, the next step is to do it. And so I want you to, today's Thursday, Tashma, what do you think is reasonable? Give them a week to come, because you know, you maybe you want to find somebody, an open house or whatever the strategy. But this time next week, I'm gonna reach out to you and see, you know, have you done something with this new knowledge?
Please, if you don't take, and I know we're talking about door knocking, but if you don't take anything else away from this class today, please take these 5 items of your job description down and make a board and put it somewhere that you look at every day. Should be next to your vision board of why you're even in this place. Right? So please, because when we don't know what to do, and we're kind of sitting around twiddling our thumbs and we're saying, oh, we don't have any business, and then we need to be doing something here. If you don't have any business, it may be we need to work on what we're saying to people. So find somebody to role play with. I literally was role playing that script as much as I use it with a partner yesterday morning. And he was encouraging me to continue the conversation with Ms. Pullen, even when she said, no, I'm not looking to move. I can appreciate that, but if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you go? And it got her thinking. And I ended up getting an appointment with Ms. Pullen, didn't I? When before I wasn't. But had I not been role playing, I would have been stopping at my script and I wouldn't have gotten an opportunity. So if you don't have business, it's one of these is going on. So you can always go back to scripting and role playing, and let's sharpen what we're saying to people. Fair? Any questions? Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm sorry.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
have the Bible. It's kind of abandoned, but I cannot get the phone number of the Lord.
Alright, good.
I searched and I can listen to them. I have the name of the person, but nothing comes up in the white pages
About 7 minutes.